Is this... I'm noticing there's 6
We're gonna have to
boys,
click on
which is a
anime
bit...
star fighting after this, is the thing.
Nice
Don't
shoes.
skip the cutscene.
Oh my god.
This one has a cutscene. None of them have
no.
cutscenes.
That's true. They very rarely
That boy has a
do.
basketball on his shirt. He's into These are the same boys. These are the same boys. Who's
Except
missing?
Child is just like that big triangular man now.
He grew up.
Now we're in college, so he got his growth spurt.
Right.
Are these our friends or enemies?
Fucker, yeah.
Yeah, they're enemies.
We can't be friends with other girls.
We just walked. What do you...
Is you sassy girl like cutting edge insult territory? Is that?
Oh god.
Oh no.
Who are you?
That's a good first attack. In your
Wait,
who's
is
the most
she
popular
me?
girl.
These are the same
Me.
people with different hair.
Oh, they're not.
Yes, they are.
She's you from the future. She's come back to train you.
I keep like flicking my eyes back and forth between them, and I swear to God, they're just the same person.
They have different
Oh
eyes.
no, it's
It's
this
one of these
one.
games!
Oh no.
Ew.
What? These are the best games!
Oh, I have to click it rapidly.
Yeah.
Oh god
You
damn
gotta
it.
hurry so that the other
She's gonna
girls
steal your
don't
boy.
steal him.
Get
Yeah.
out of my
Oh,
way.
but he doesn't like become a
Wait, is
weird
he a
ghost who
ghost?
follows you around, though. But he doesn't follow you
Nah.
around like in that other game.
He like just the color drained out of him, like he's just a soulless fucking
Oh, yeah,
lich or
he's all-
something now. That's
yeah.
terrifying.
Mhm.
Oh no.
Is this how flirting? Am I been doing it wrong? I just
mean,
stand there while
I
a
don't
girl
really
blows
try
me
to do it
kisses
very
from a
often,
foot
so I
away?
wouldn't
Is that
know.
I'm really dropping the ball? Why she went after him instead of his twin who just walked by?
What if I want to flirt with that third lady in the group who looked kind of nice? Like her
She's
eyes were a little
alright. She didn't
softer?
talk any shit. Wait, can you talk?
The
Can you
white
flirt with any of
pants
these
girl?
girls? Actually,
No,
No.
of course not.
listen.
These games are heteronormative as fuck. Of course you
I
can't
know,
flirt with the girls.
but I wanted to make sure you tried.
On the bright side, if I try,
Like,
they don't, like, poison me or something. No. I hate these games. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry, Janine. I thought
Find
it would
your
be
love.
fun.
Find your love.
I mean, the bare bones,
Find your love.
the bare bones message of this game is the more men like you and pay attention to you, the more valuable you are, the better you
Yeah,
are.
it's like MLAs, but backwards.
I think the core message is find your love over and over and over again on the bar at the top of the screen.
No, too many girls.
Oh no, you gotta get one of those guys!
Hurry, you only have 20 seconds. This is it. This is the big one.
Oh,
Phew!
Amazing. Oh, next level. Ooh,
oh no,
cutscene.
the story is continuing. That's good. Nice grimace.
Oh, all the other women like him,
What
so
is-
he must
what
be
happened?
That
happy.
lady's
your
hand is
eyes.
backwards.
Don't judge. That you again, sassy girl?
Just stop talking to her. She's probably not even in your program.
Oh, this is the worst.
Oh my god. Her chest doesn't line up with her dress at all.
Habdab
There's
says,
just, like,
finding love is
huge gap
mandatory.
there.
Oh, that's the guy. Maybe. Well, you
Or
got
because-
him, you win.
Is that it? Is that all I have to do? I still have to
No.
fill up
No.
that meter.
You
That's
just have to
That's all
play the
about
level.
Peter. This is some little narrative dissonance right here.
mm-hmm.
Really not up to it.
I also
Maybe
like that she
you're-
only
you're-
cares about a dude once I start engaging with him.
Yeah, look how many of that guy there are. Like, there's plenty of him. You can each have one. Look, there's 2 on the screen right now. There's 3 on the
Also,
screen right
her
now.
friends are competing with her, and she's just okay with that.
Well, that's how girl friendships work, you know. None of us are ever truly
true.
friends. We're always in a competition because we only exist relative to men.
If I've learned anything from these games, it's that.
I think another really weird thing about these games, in that, like, how sexual everything is, like, all of the women are often presented in a really sexual way. Like, a lot of the tops have, like, cleavage and stuff like that, and it's like there's no men involved in this, right? This is all, like, girls playing games, and it's probably because the games were probably made by men, but also it's like, this is how you are represented even when it's something that's just for you. And this is true in, like, a bunch of games targeted at little girls, not just these shitty Flash games, where it's like, this is just how you are represented in media.
Right.
And it really reminds me of, like, when I was a little kid and I would watch superhero stuff with my dad, and then he would teach me how to draw. And when he was teaching me how to draw, I would draw female superheroes, and I would draw them real sexy, because that was the only way that I knew that they were represented. And
I did the same thing, yeah.
And I didn't, like, ever make the connection, like, you don't have to draw them real sexy, because I was like, well, this is just how it is.
That's just what that looks like. I did when I drew. I like drawing a lot, and wait, I'm clicking on a lady. That's wrong. Apparently.
Got that one guy.
Not allowed.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
no.
Oh, no. When I was little, though, and I was drawing women, I always drew very specifically a V in the middle of their chest, because that's what cleavage is.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think about, like, what that was or anything. It was just like, that was a feature of a woman, is you have a big cleavage V. And it's actually, like, not easy to get that unless you're really naturally gifted or wearing, like, some pretty seriously powerful garments. But it was just a thing that was, like, very much taken for granted as like a feature of, this is what females look like.
Right.
Yeah.
Chip6 says, so are these all white people? Yeah. This is a thing that definitely came up in the original Girl Games LP. Here and there was like, these games are real bad about race.
Yeah.
Like, very bad.
Each race has, like, their own, like, separate little game just for them, and they just have the one. And then the rest is white people.
Right.
I actually, when I was looking for stuff for Austin to play, I found a... God, I keep talking about Monster High. I don't really give a shit about Monster High, I promise.
We get it, Janine. You love Monster High.
Yeah, Claudine Wolfe from Monster High, I think, is
Claudine
black,
Wolfe gets whitewashed so much in these
really?
games. I found so many fashion games that, A, her skin tone was just, like, ridiculously pale. And B, she often started out, like, her default state was, like, long blonde hair instead of, like, the curly, darker hair that she has. It's just, like...
Right, and that's...
that series has characters who are, like, purple and shit, and
Gene, you gotta
whatever,
hustle.
that's just... I'm trying.
Oh, no! No, it's down to the wire!
Oh, man, you're...
Oh, no! Oh, no!
Faster.
Ah.
No way!
You were robbed.
robbed.
That's true.
Those-
That mean pretty girl who's
mean
really
pretty
secretly
girl.
us from the future.
She's teaching us a lesson, you know?
Yeah, you should view all girls prettier than you as enemies to be competed with.
What is this?
Oh, no.
What is this? Why does this exist?
Oh, you're going down the
Right.
hole. You're going down the hole,
Well, this is a
Janine.
skill game.
I've been down the
So-
hole. I've been down the hole ever since I started playing My Dolphin Show. What even?
What?
Did Andy Clare send this to you? Because this seems alright. New game. Yeah,
Just
slow
make sure
down.
this is centered properly.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah, okay. Alright, let's pick a character.
You playing women?
Really?
Let's see who else there is. Let's see who else there is. The next button on the side.
Do kids these days even know who this guy is?
Yeah, kids know. They have the internet now.
That's a lady, I think, right?
Yeah, probably.
Those-
Wait, I want to see the other character.
She has...
It's very important. Whoa, what?
Some of them transform.
Oh, that's okay. That one gets a big arm.
But only some of them.
Right.
You have to get
Why
enough
would-
money points.
Why would you play a character that doesn't transform then?
Keith says,
that's a lady
Janine,
too.
please, you have to be Yusuke.
I don't know who that even is. Who is that? Is that the fireman?
Oh, now the chat has opinions.
Act 1 says, I want to be a Gundam.
That's Bleach, right? That's Peter Bleach?
That's a Bleach. It's Peter Bleach from the Ghostbusters. He's my favorite Ghostbusters. He's hilarious.
That's Cardman Yugi.
Oh man, you know what? This is a really great opportunity to talk about all the ways that my thread derailed the conversation about feminism while I was trying to do my LP.
Don't be
because
that guy.
of this game. And like
I should at least be a girl on the girl games don't think.
But just while you're trying to figure this out, so there were a lot of opportunities in the thread to talk about sexism and racism and homophobia and just everything. There was every social issue. There was plenty of ways to talk about it, and there was I think that I was basically giving everyone free rein to just bash on stuff and say that it wasn't okay. But the thread really disappointed me when they took something and just that noise.
It's a bad noise. It's a bad noise.
When they took one little, any little tiny hint of talking about anything that wasn't these social issues, and then just ran with it. And they're like, oh my god, let's talk about how great the dress-up game in Saints Row is. Let's talk about, the Stick of Truth and how it's got this, girl games parody in it. And, let's talk about the gameplay. Everyone really wanted to talk about gameplay, about anything else than actually calling out these games on being shitty. Right. And that was one of the big reasons why I feel like
Listen, DVac, if we just have to be positive, we just have to be rational, we just have to be, polite. Rudeness never gets you anywhere, obviously.
Right.
That was actually the other thing that really bothered me about whenever I peeked in on that thread. I'm not a big Something Awful user, but whenever I peeked in on that thread, or just generally the conversation that surrounds these kinds of games, or when you do see people let's playing them, the conversation so often strays into, haha, makeup is dumb. People who like this are dumb and stupid and bad, and the thing they like is bad.
Super not the point that we're trying to make here, right? The target of our ridicule here is not the 13 to 25-year-old girls who play these games or whatever. These 13 to 99-year-old girls who play these games.
Yeah.
It's the people who develop them. It's the culture that teaches girls that this is what being a girl has to be.
It's the message they send to reinforce.
Actually, strike that. I wish the culture was the thing that we're seeing now, which is go get a rad stick and beat up all these jerks with stupid hats on.
Yeah, this is actually, I'm really enjoying this game, actually. This isn't bad. But this is, of course, not at all what we're here for.
No.
Yeah, Umbrella summarizes it, turning it around to trash anything coded as feminine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's, And so it's very much all or nothing. And I think even in the very first episode of the LP, I talk about how when I was a kid, I thought that being feminine was all or nothing, which is why I opted out of femininity for most of my life.
Yeah, me too.
And because it does seem like...
Uh-oh.
Did we just lose DVac? That's not good.
We did.
Oh no. What are we supposed to do?
Vamp.
oh, hello.
I'm
back.
Hi, sorry.
Bad job.
And
Claire says feminism does not equal anti-femininity, and so many people miss that, and it's garbage.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is held over from second wave feminism, which is our mother's generation of feminism. Sure. But what feminism means for our generation is not that at all.
Right. Yeah. So, two things there. One, even that I don't want to blame. I wouldn't blame young DVac for opting out of femininity, because that idea of what femininity is and the idea of what feminism is also taught to us through culture, right? I teach, this is the second thing I wanted to say, which is I often end up teaching feminism and critical race studies and stuff like that. And this past year I had a student who said that she was afraid feminism aimed to take the sexiness out of her movies. And that I'm not mad at that student for believing that, except for the fact that she should have read the homework assignment, because then she would know that wasn't the case. But instead, I blame the culture that's taught her to be a feminist means to be anti-feminine. And that is just as much of a problem as the games that teach, or the media, the representational stuff that teaches you that to be feminine is to do all of these other specific things and nothing else. There's no room for variation. So
yeah, it's all or nothing.
Exactly.
And that's not how real life is, and it takes a long time to get over that and to accept that, like, the reality of your life as you've experienced it. But so it's much easier to not like, and so the whole thing of, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with liking dress up, that in fact human beings like dress up games for the most part. And it's the shitty messages, like that tiny ounce of critical thought was something that I didn't get at all, I don't think, like, or barely at all from my LP thread, and was something that really upset me, because it just seems like, well, I could think critically about this, even just the teeny tiniest bit, but I don't want to, and not only, and instead of just not posting something, I'm gonna post something, and I'm gonna post something that derails to not having a critical discussion of what's going on. And those people were not the people that I wanted to be speaking in my thread. I wanted to make a thread for people like me who were going to engage in a critical discussion. And then the people like that, like the people who posted, to sit back and read and listen and not take over the conversation, you know, telling me that sort of, this is something that I wasn't as upset about at the time, but now after it's over is something that makes me more upset when I hear it from men, which is the sort of I guess they say it this way on Tumblr, like, I think that women are poorly represented in media. Where's my cookie?
Right.
Like that sort of thing of, like, wow, I understand. It's hard for women. Now pat me on the head and tell me that I'm doing a good job.
I'm a good
it's
progressive.
Like, no.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There is.
I'm not going to be mad at you, but, like.
Right. If your aim was to create a space where those people who don't post often in threads and very rarely post in threads, people like you, about this stuff because they didn't feel safe or comfortable doing that in other threads, you were hoping to create a space where they could do that here. And when you have derailments happening, when you have you know, people distracting from those topics and jumping onto whatever other thing and making it clear that they're not that space, that they're deciding that, no, this space is not going to be a safe space to talk about these issues. That's really frustrating for those people who you wanted to bring into the thread where they could talk about that stuff, you know?
Yeah, and that really, as long as we're paused for serious talk, that really was the case when it came to the sort of maybe inevitable derail about trans women that happened a little bit in the thread, but as a majority sort of like on my Twitter and on my Ask.fm, because early on in the LP I got criticism from a trans woman who sent me a thing on Ask.fm, and she did not appreciate the vagina joke that I made in my OP, which at the time I did not feel as remorseful about as I do now, but I handled it, and I learned a lot because I found myself typing out, I'm sorry that you're offended, and then I deleted, like, the entire paragraph that I had just wrote and wrote, no, that's not okay, you're right, and I'm sorry. And I was like, it doesn't matter right now if it hurts me to type this out, if it's, like, awkward for me to type this out, this is what I'm supposed to say. And I'm glad that I did that, and I posted in my thread, this is a safe space for everyone to comment, especially trans women, and, you know, for people, and I wrote up this whole thing, and then, like, later I, like, went back in and was like, before I posted this, to say that, like, yes, men also have something to contribute to the conversation, which just led to, like, 10 different people responding and being like, well, I'm a man, and I don't know if I'm useful here, but here's some words that I wrote, and I really shouldn't have even included that in retrospect. But I was intimidated by the thought of just posting that that everyone else had a place to speak. And so then it's sort of like it suddenly became a thing. And I mean, we live in we post on an essay that harassed Dazzling Adar into basically going dark on the forums because she made videos before and after her voice change. As part of her transitioning, and SA was so bothered by that, and it's disgusting and inexcusable that they were so bothered by by Daz changing her voice, and they just kept commenting on it and harassed her about it, and the whole thing makes me furious to even think about, and I really didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see that behavior coming back or anything like that. And in the thread's defense, they didn't say anything transphobic. They said a lot of things that were like ignorant and asking for clarification. But there wasn't anything any transphobic or statements bashing trans women. And I just got a lot of sort of stupid questions. But some of the questions were like, teach me about transgender politics, which was
and
not
even that's
really
super tough, right? Like,
also I sort of became like suddenly all these men are coming out of the woodwork saying, teach me about transgender politics. And I'm like, well, I'm not trans. I'm cis. I'm a cis woman, and I only kind of know about these things, but it's not my lived experience.
And there's lots of resources. Like, y'all know how to Google. If I was
you don't need to go up to people and be like, teach me about this thing, because they're getting out a lot and they're tired and they have their own shit to do.
Yeah, I just gotta point out
there's this really good hunter build in Hearthstone out there. It's called blah, blah, blah. They would then go do all of the crazy research necessary to understand that build in Hearthstone, but they're not capable of doing the research on these topics themselves. Like, this is super tough for me as a person of color. I have a lot of white friends who come to me and say, like, Austin, I don't understand this thing about being black. And part of me is like, feels like I need to teach people, because there is like some sort of like, no matter what I do, I'm always going to be speaking as a black person. I'm always going to be addressing that stuff. But at the same time, like, it's super not my job to do that, dog. Like, it's not. Shouldn't bear the responsibility of someone else's ignorance, basically.
I often feel like it comes from a place of maybe someone not acknowledging that they don't respect voices in a certain area as much as they respect the voice of a person that they know.
Right.
Yeah. Like, but not being able to accept a stranger's word of
I've gotten
or expertise.
Because then it becomes your fault for not explaining it to them.
Right. Yeah.
And I've gotten a lot of feedback along the lines of, like, everyone should be okay with, like, doing this, that, like, explaining yourself is something that everyone should want to do because knowledge is important, basically, is what I get back. And it just reflects such a narrow view of the world and a basic lack of understanding of how human beings operate, because not everybody has a great day every day. And if I'm just, so much as if I'm not feeling it that day, if I'm tired, if I had a bad day and I say I don't feel like explaining this to you right now, well then too fucking bad.
And I mean, you don't walk up to a university professor and say, hey, teach me everything about your field while we just sit here.
Right.
You organize classes and a regimen, and you do study and shit. And maybe they do teach you, but they're going to teach you on their terms in an appropriate setting at an appropriate time.
Right.
They're not just going to drop everything and fucking
of the versions of this stuff that people come to me with often, the version I like the most, the version that I'm the most comfortable with is like, hey, what's some stuff I could read? Can you just, like, I don't want to take up your time. I'm not looking for an essay from you. I'm not looking for, like, a long one-on-one dialogue, but, like, point me in a direction. And, like, I will do that 90% of the time, 99% of the time, So, anyway, so are we done with Janine's? Or Janine, are you done? Or what's...
I think we've done the 5 games, and then they start fighting because I had to click it. I just had to. It was luring.
So now
we're gonna switch off to Austin.
Yeah. Well, please feel free to formally challenge him. Throw a gauntlet down.
Throw down the gauntlet. Austin Walker.
That's me.
I formally challenge you to DVacuum's Girl Games Challenge. Do you accept?
Yeah, listen, I'm a man in the Western world, which means I've been taught that to be a man, I have to accept any and all challenges, or else I'm a failure.
Especially from women.
Especially from women. How dare you? That's like, you're on some, like, what's the stupid show I'm thinking of? Iron Chef, like, sound effects right now.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Super good. Or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Who Wants to Be a Girl Game Expert? Either one.
Yes.
So,
we're gonna pause the stream and
then switch off. We should do a little intro, outro. DVac, why don't you go first?
Okay. I've been DVousVacuum at DVousVacuum on Twitter and DVousVacuum on YouTube. Check out my Girl Games LP that I will ceaselessly complain about on this stream, and it'll be great, and then I'll never do it again.
And I'm Janine Hawkins. I'm at Bleating Heart on Twitch and Twitter and YouTube. And I put an article up today that's super relevant to what we're doing on Paste Magazine. There's a link to it on my Twitter somewhere. There's a link to it on my website, healerarchermage.com, and it's about how fashion should be a accepted and not dismissed subject for games. Not these games. These games are fucked up, though.
Right. I'm Austin Walker. You can find me at Austin_Walker on Twitter, the Calcutech here on Twitch, twitch.tv/StreamFriends also is where we do these streams live, and the archives are at streamfriends.tv, and you can find my writing at clockworkworlds.com.
Okay, so we'll be right back.